So, well, first off, I was hoping I could just talk and hide it, but right away, my voice made it obvious. I have a little bit of congestion. I guess I'm a little sick, so ignore that for a little bit. I'm taking my vitamin C stuff just so I can hopefully get rid of it, and hopefully it doesn't get too bad. But anyways, this video is just to kind of showcase what my technique or just strategies for trying to learn this language, Cebuano. If you didn't know, I'm trying to learn Cebuano. I've been going for a while now, almost a year. I probably have about a month and a half before I hit that year mark, and I've done something with Cebuano every single day so far. I don't think there's ever been a day that I haven't done anything. So, not surprisingly, I feel fairly confident with basic stuff, at least. So, at least there's that. I wish I was a little bit further along. I'm not gonna lie. Life gets in the way sometimes. Anyways, but this is basically what I've done to try to learn it. Essentially, I started with this thing called Conversational English, Cebuano, made easy, and that's the author right there. It's basically just a book of what they thought were fairly common conversational topics. They start off with simple stuff like days of the week, and then they went to expressions and stuff, and then talking about kinship and foods, and then verbs, parts of the body, family related stuff. There's a couple pages related to just the different words for the coconut, just because there's different words for whatever stage the coconut's in. So I use this. It's a pretty good book, and my light just gave out. Oops, but that's okay because I was kind of done with it anyways. Because the other thing that I do, excuse me, jeez, gross, is I use a thing called Memrise, and they are transitioning to a thing called Dex. But if you go to memrise.com, you can look up and see a ton of just courses, and basically it's like a virtual flashcard, and it's pretty cool. Once you get past the learning curve of like how to use it, it's really useful. You can go on to here after you've made an account, and if you click on courses, you can go over here and you can search, and I'm going to search with one hand. You could probably type in Bisaya 2, or Bidisaya, whatever, and you could probably still find some stuff because some of them have that in the title. But if you type in Cebuano, that's probably going to be your best bet to find something that's English speaker learning Cebuano. And that's what I did. And I did a couple of these. I think there was 3 courses that I had looked at, maybe 4. But I finished them all so far, and right now I'm really only working on this one. This is the one that I've compiled. I compiled that with use of this book, taking some stuff in there, and I credited it, gave credit for it, because I'm obviously, it's really just so that I can have all the information in one spot. But I use that. Oh yes, I use this site a lot too. Minisaya.com. Okay. The one downside is that when you can search, although you can search and be like, oh, I want to go from Saya to English, or I want to go English to Saya. That's great, and it actually works very well, really well. And there's a big dictionary in there, and it's a lot bigger than I would have expected. The only downside is that sometimes they'll give you word options for, like, one English word can be like 8 or 10 different options in Cebuano, and that's just because there's different like dialects within Cebuano, so that could get confusing for somebody. But for me, I usually just, when I come across something like that, I'll go to my mother, or I'll go I'll contact someone that speaks Cebuano, if not her, and ask them which one they use most often, or which ones, because I'm not opposed to learning several words from one thing, as long as it's common and as long as it's actually used. Specifically in the Cebu area, because that's where my family is on my mom's side. But going back to this memorize flashcard thing, in addition to the book that I use, I also take from this. And if you Google search Peace Corps and Cebuano language packet, you can find this PDF, and it's like 300 pages of information. It's super useful. I don't know how out of date it is, or if it's too formal or not, but we're learning a language, we gotta have something here. There's a lot of stuff that they have. They start off with fairly simple stuff, and they like to start off sideways for some reason, but that's okay. But yeah, there's like some easy stuff like good mornings, and then you can get into some courtesy stuff like sorry, then you have some pronouns, and you go back to portrait orientation, and there's just a ton of like short phrases and fill in the blanks, and then you get down here, you'll see just a huge area of just straight up vocabulary, and you just see like, oh, what's new, and then you go to 31's new, and on this side, utto. Oh yes, that's cool. Now I know, and I would take the vocabulary would be one that I'd really like to use the most, and I would put it onto here. And again, this is the virtual flashcard course, if you will, that I've compiled. I've been doing it for a while, but because I'm always adding to it, there's always going to be a course that is unchecked, because these are finished and these are not. So I use that book, and I use this Cebuano learning packet that was meant for the Peace Corps, and it's proven pretty useful. I really appreciate that this exists, and I love that it's free. You just got to do a little bit of work to put it into a medium that's easy to access and easy to study. Also, I always visit this YouTube channel called Just for Kicks, and I think every now and again this guy sees my videos just because he cares about Cebuano language being learned by people, because it's not really the first choice for most people. But so he probably comes across my videos. He might see this, if not, whatever. But yeah, that's very good, very informative. I think his stuff, if I recall it correctly, typically airs on the side of like the kind of Cebuano that's spoken in Davao, which is a city in the Philippines, which is fine. And I've actually heard from a different Filipino that I was talking to online that Davao tends to use a more formal type of Cebuano anyways, so for my usage, for learning at least, that's a good thing. And even if that wasn't my preferred method, I would take it, because I need something to go off of. Excuse me. So, just to show real quick, basically what this memorize thing is. Memorize, like spelled like memorize, like MEMRISE. You probably could find it through Dex now, because they're trying to transition to it. It's just taken a long time, but you can still find it through memorize.com, or you can go to dex.memorize.com and you can get started. It's free. You can make your own course. You can use other people's courses. Mine is called Cebuano for Beginners. It's not perfect. No course seems to be perfect anyways. The worst thing about this service is that excuse me, when you're entering in your answer for your translation, like you have, oh, what does this mean? What does it mean for rain to be sprinkling or drizzling, right? And let's say your option, in the catalog, the correct answer is talisik, taligsik. So there's more than one option, If you put those in the wrong order, you can get it wrong. and that's annoying. But also, you can, if you're making your own course, you can program it to accept both orders. But also, you're doing it so much because the flashcard, you just do it every day anyways, that you're probably going to learn the order anyways. So just keep at it and look past that annoyance, and you'll be fine. But I haven't done it yet today, so I can just show real quick what it's like. You can do this on your phone. There's an app on your phone for this, and it works pretty well. But this is the one on the computer, and I'm only gonna do maybe like 5 things just to show you. But you can see that there's like kasag or alimango. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh yeah, on the computer they time you. But anyways, it means crab. So I got that wrong. Oops. But nug hiccup hiccup. If I look here, I'd be like, it looks like it's excited. And then I got that right, and then I can go on. Hiskot. I believe that's just this, to discuss and mention. And then here you can type excited. Oh crap. I forget what the first part of the word, but I know there's hikab. This is a newer one for me, so I'm probably gonna get an almost correct rating. That's the yellow, yep. And it's because I forgot the nag at the beginning. Nag hikab hikab. Right? It's a verb, and it's currently happening with that English form, so I needed the nug. And then on the computer it's nice because if you get it wrong, then they just reinforce it. They wanted me to type it in again here. But yeah, it's pretty easy. You just take a couple minutes every day, probably like 15 minutes if you want. That's my current goal every day, is 15 minutes a day, because I don't just use this. I try to use other things. I watch YouTubers that are dealing with Filipino. Like I'll watch a guy called Basayan Hilao. I like watching him because he's an American and he speaks fluent Cebuano. It may not be perfect, it may not be the best thing in the world, but I do watch it. And then I sometimes will watch Jomi Hospital, but it's a little crazy for me. It's a little too fast sometimes. Maybe I'm not really ready for it. I wish there were other options that were like moderate pace, weren't trying to be super exciting. And I guess lastly though, the last thing I use is this app called Hello Talk. Oh. I was trying to show you the logo, but it's called Hello Talk. And basically it's just, it's focused on language learning. And it's beyond Cebuano in English. There's a lot of languages that you can use, but essentially you can just connect with people and just talk to people. And you can really choose how you want to use it. You can use it as, hey, I just want to have some conversations, have some online relationships, like friendships, sorry. Or you can strictly make it a thing where you are only messaging each other when you're trying to give tips to each other, or just questions for each other. And it works pretty nice. It takes a while to find someone that's consistent, because sometimes people will talk to you for a little bit and then they just disappear from the app for a while. That's just the nature of humanity, I guess, with online apps that are impersonal like this. But if you find somebody that does use the app and does have notifications, it's really great. So that took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but essentially that I just wanted to document, I guess. It had been too long since I had made a video, for one thing, and also I don't think I still have a bit to go, so I'm hoping kinda that someone can see this and maybe there's excuse me, maybe there's some other learning tool that I can use that can help with my speaking ability. When it comes to like texting and typing out Cebuano, I'm fairly fluent. Like, I don't really have to think that hard. I can just do. At whatever speed I text, I can just do it. Like I'm speaking, either I plan ahead and then I speak it very fluently, with an American accent of course, or I speak kinda slow, and then I will go to the next word and perhaps I will get it correct. Oops, I meant I'll get it wrong. and then have to repeat myself. So it's not it's not incredibly painfully slow, but it's kind of painful. It's not super fluent. I guess when I'm thinking about fluency, I'm not hoping to be like, hello everybody, my name is David, I'm from America now, whatever. Like, I don't want to be that crazy fast. I don't need to be, at least. I won't argue if I am, ever, but as long as I could speak at a normal pace, somewhat moderate pace, that'd be good enough, you know. Anyways, but those are just some of the stuff that I do. I don't do everything every day. The only thing that I do every day is just memorize thing, and yeah, that's pretty much my only, like, for sure everyday thing. But I try to do other things every day too, if not speaking to my mother, who is Filipino still, or speaking to someone on an app that is Cebuano. Sorry, that speaks Cebuano and is trying to learn English. Speaks Bisaya and is trying to learn English. Anyways, that's all for today. Sorry it took way too long, but oops.